I will now call to order the regular City Council meeting of March 25th, 2024. Members of the public are invited to attend in-person meetings in council chambers. Public access to the meeting is also available by telephone by using the call-in numbers posted on the meeting agenda. Meetings are broadcast on Channel 8 for Comcast and Xfinity subscribers and on the city's YouTube channel online. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Leidy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lukeman Hiramasa will be absent. Councilmember Burns will be absent. Councilmember Jaramillo.
Here.
Councilmember Kondo.
Here.
Councilmember Roper.
Here.
Councilmember Goff.
Here.
Councilmember Nowicki.
Here.
Councilmember Walker.
All right, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, Council, we are going to move item 4 after item 6 tonight. Are there any other agenda changes, additions, or deletions? Okay. Public invited to be heard. This is an opportunity for public comment on any item not set for public hearing. Statements are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Statements must be related to city business and limited to matters of community interest. City Clerk Small, has anyone signed up to speak to council?
Yes, Madam Mayor. The first individual on the list is Danielle Luciano.
Okay, please state your name and address or ward and provide your comments to council up at the podium.
Hello, my name is Danielle Luciano. I am at 331 East 112th Circle. I believe that's Ward 3. Thank you so much for having us all today. I stand before you today as a resident of North Glen, and I'm deeply concerned about a decision that threatens the safety and well-being of our community. I've been calling North Glen home for over 8 years. And recently, we learned of the state's plan to contract with Cypress Cares for the operation of a mental health transitional living home at 11255 and 11275 Grant Drive. This news has sent shockwaves through our neighborhood. It raises urgent questions about the future of our community. The proposed location of this facility is deeply troubling for many reasons. It is situated in close proximity to vital community institutions like Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic Church, Imperium Event Center, the Courts Youth Sports Center, Stuckey Elementary School, in-home child care centers, the Studio School, and North Glen Middle School. The temporary stay of people with severe mental illness, substance abuse disorders, and sex offenders puts our children and families at risk, especially those who live nearby or visit these areas frequently. Moreover, the introduction of this facility risks exacerbating existing issues within our community, such as drug use and homelessness. North Glen PD and the community have worked hard to address these challenges, and allowing this facility to operate in our midst would undo the progress we have made. This facility will undoubtedly have adverse effects on property values in our neighborhood, further destabilizing our community's prosperity. What adds insult to injury is the lack of information provided to residents. Many of our non-English speaking neighbors may not even be aware of the impending threat to their safety and their well-being. This marginalization of certain segments of our population is unacceptable and it cannot be ignored. Today, I received a phone call from Heather Geyer stating the resident letter that was mailed out on March 12th was translated into Spanish, and it will be mailed out this week to 4,000 residents. Thank you for doing that. This is an improvement, and I'm very happy to know this is being taken. But as leaders of our community, it is your responsibility to know your demographics and to have an effective communication plan in place that is equitable for all of our residents. In regards to the city stating they had no say in this land use decision by the state, it's hard for me to believe that North Glen administration had no clue about it. Someone within our city administration must have been aware of the potential land use prior to this announcement. Last Thursday, I personally observed over 30 unsupervised children walk from Stookie to the apartments up on Malley. They walked on the sidewalk directly in front of the facility. This further emphasizes the immediate danger posed by the establishment of this facility in such close proximity to our schools and our residential areas. We cannot afford to stand idly by while our community is at risk. So I implore you, members of the City Council, to prioritize the safety and well-being of North Glen residents. Please help us take immediate action to prevent the establishment of this facility in its proposed location and identify an alternative site that does not pose such grave risks to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else signed up?
Yes, the next individual is Reverend Ernest Byer.
Welcome. Please state your name and provide your
Hi.
comments to
Yes,
council.
I'm Reverend Ernest Bear, Father Ernest Bear, the pastor at Immaculate Heart of Mary, here to talk about the same issue. We do want to be sympathetic to the need for mental health transitional housing for people coming out of jail or facilities that matriculating into the community, but we don't think it's a good location for them to do that. It could very well set them up to reoffend. Those that have alcohol or drug problems are going to be living right across the street from a alcohol store, a package store, and a marijuana shop. And those that might have sexual addiction, acting out in that way, I just want to speak on behalf of our parish with regard to what's going on there, because the parish wasn't consulted. I got a little letter on my rectory, mailbox, but we weren't consulted as a parish, so I have a feeling maybe people don't realize what goes on at Immaculate Heart of Mary. We're just adjacent to the housing facilities that they're planning to use. So first question was, did the state just make this decision without consulting the neighbors who would be affected? And do we have any recourse to prevent it from happening? I'm not sure, but I just want to inform the council about our church, Immaculate Heart of Mary. We have about 251 children from preschool to 5th grade that are involved in our faith formation programs every Wednesday evening during the school year. There's about 54 events that happen during the school year. They're on Wednesday nights with these 251 children. We also have another 100 high school and middle schoolers that meet on Wednesday and Thursday evenings as well at our facility during the school year. They tend to be maybe less supervised, wandering about. And of course, as was mentioned, there's many children that walk right through our parking lot from the apartments up on Malley by Highline Canal, and they walk right through our parking lot on the way to Stookie Elementary. Yeah, and a lot of them are not supervised. So are we setting these people up to reoffend? We have about 2,000 people that access our building every weekend for the masses on Saturday and Sunday and other events that are happening. We have 10 baptisms a month. We have 12 quinceañeras a year. We have 27 weddings a year. We have about 94 funerals every year. So there's just a lot of people coming and going into our facility all the time. And then on weekends, there's other events happening. People rent our parish hall. About 35 times a year, they just rent our parish hall and have a wedding party or an anniversary party or any number of different dinner parties that happen in our parish hall about 35 times throughout the year. That's evening events, which maybe even they're more at risk if they wander outside. And so then we have a chapel nearby connected to our facility that is actually accessed 24 hours a day. It's just a place where people go for prayer. It is under lock and key, but they come and go in and out of the facility, even in the late evening hours. So they're probably at risk. So if this home is established for these folks that have a history of sex abuse, sex violations, or drug and alcohol problems, if it does happen and people know about that, that could affect our effectiveness as a parish, that could deter some people from wanting to participate in our activities. So our numbers will go down, which raises the question, is this a violation of our religious liberty to practice our, because the church was founded in that location before this facility happened, and we actually have cops patrolling on the weekend to keep it safe. Usually, we're thinking of active shooters, we're not thinking of predators, but now, are we going to need cops, all week long? Hopefully not, we can't really afford that. But anyway, so we are concerned, our community's concerned. We'd like to know what can we do about it? I'm planning to go to the meeting on Wednesday to talk to at the community meeting about that. But we just want to express our concerns, and that's why our parking lot has a lot of cars there all the time. That's what's going on in our building, and we want to keep our people safe. We'd appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
I have copies if you want of the statistics that I just shared, if you want to.
Yeah, if you could share them with our city manager, thank you so much.
The next individual on the list is Claudia Garcia.
Hi there. Please state your name and address and share your comments with council.
Hi, my name is Claudia Garcia, and I live in 11280 Grand Drive, just in front of that same facility that everybody's talking about. And yeah, we're all concerned because we just live across the street, and that building where we live, it's all mostly just single women, single mothers with their kids. So, and then in the next building, in the next community is senior citizens, and they're mostly all by themselves. And like everybody was saying, it's all just mostly you see everyday kids walk in front of that facility, and some without their parents and surviving. They're not watching them, and they're walking by themselves. So. And we're concerned, and we want to be heard about that. And the church, Immaculate Heart of Mary, a lot of families, every day there's something going on in the church and with kids. And so, and then across the street, there's the Imperium, where there's always parties and kids playing just right there at the parking lot. So we want to be heard about that. And I'm a mother of a daughter that was sexually assaulted. So so we just want to be heard and somebody to do something about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
The next individual on the list is Tom Lampo.
Hi, Tom.
Hello to everyone. It's nice to be back in North Glen. I'm here to lift up the people of North Glen and the city in prayer. As a side, I hope everybody has caught a little March Madness. And if you're not participating in the madness, I hope you have derived joy from watching others stricken with madness of March. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' victorious name, you are the God of North Glen. What incredible times you have us in, and you are in control of everything. Victory is yours, and nothing can take it from you. Isaiah 14:24 in your word states, "The Lord of hosts has sworn, as I have purposed, so it will be. As I have planned, so it will happen." There is nothing for us to fear. You are in charge of everything. Darkness and evil will come, but you want us to trust in you and know that nothing is beyond your authority. Lord, I lift up to you all our elected officials at every level of government. You have placed them in their positions for this time. Help them lead by your words found in Matthew 7:13-14. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. As our elected representatives make decisions that affect our lives, help each of them choose the path that leads to life and prosperity for all. Today, we find ourselves in a society where everybody is a publisher. Social media is both a blessing and a curse. We have freedom of speech, but with all freedom comes great responsibility. Help us to take to heart the words written in James 1:19. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. Guide us in our responses to situations that touch our lives. Grant us understanding and patience. We don't need to agree with a view, but help us to respect an opinion and thoughtfully respond. We need good, open communication to heal our society. Father, we have fallen short of your glory. Our vision is cloudy, and we are uncertain in many circumstances. As a result, some of our decisions separate us from your love. You state in 1 John 1:9, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and righteous to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Your grace is immense. Your love for people is greater than we can ever imagine. Forgive us for our wrong and bring us to a greater understanding of you. Grant us your peace. In your victorious name we pray. Amen. Thank you, guys, and have a nice night.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it.
The next individual on the list is Melissa Ryan.
Hi there. Please state your name and address and share your comments with council.
I'm Melissa Ryan. I live at 11661 Lincoln Street. And my concern is just like everybody else's here this evening. I have 2 children. I've been a resident of North Glen for 11 years. Over the past couple of years, I have come here because I have had concerns about the increased crime, the increased homelessness situation. And now we want to add to that issue by opening this facility. It is my understanding that it is going to be unsupervised, so they're allowed to come and go as they please, that this could house up to 32 sex offenders. If North Glen just sits by and watches this happen, I would be appalled. I'm disgusted as it is that I received this letter on such short notice. I believe that the city had to have some kind of information before they let their residents know. The safety of our children, our elderly, our families, your constituents should matter. I can't even believe that there's not a better place for this facility to be opened. I understand these people need somewhere to go, but in the middle of a residential area that houses many children, school districts, children waiting at bus stops to get to their school. What is going to happen when somebody gets nabbed or somebody gets raped? Is that going to be on your hands? Is it going to be on the police? Because I can tell you right now, I've called several times because I've been attacked at the park. I have seen knives pulled on people at the park. I've seen people get beat with skateboards at the park. I have called several times. I'm going to be a witness in a hearing that's being met in June that was already delayed. And I'm always told, well, we're short on cops. We're short on cops. So if we're short on cops and we're going to allow all these criminals in, what is going to happen? What's the new response time? Because cars getting stolen, whatever. We're talking about people's lives here, their safety, their well-being. You can't undo the damage that some of these people are going to do to others. And I can't even believe that when I read that letter, I was so disgusted. I couldn't even believe it. So we'll be at the Wednesday meeting. I hope all of these people will be at the Wednesday meeting. I hope you guys come and you speak and you demand something to be done, because this should be in an industrial area, away from people, away from communities, away from houses. There's no need to put this into our area where there's families and children. Thank you.
The last individual on the list is Deacon Jerome Durnford.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again with you. But I'd want to buttress what everyone has to say. I'm a representative Immaculate Heart of Mary, 11385 Grand Drive, Ward 3. I just want to buttress what we've heard this evening. Although we're not sympathetic to those that need to be moved into transitional housing, we don't believe that it's a good location for the reasons mentioned that we've heard already. As a father of a special needs daughter who was sexually assaulted, I understand the pain that brings to families, and to talk with others that have also shared that same pain. It's not an easy thing of life. It's life-changing, and families and for those victims. Also, his father had mentioned that, we, across the street from our parish, we have a liquor store, a marijuana store, a pawn shop, and I think places those residents that may be living here in a vulnerable situation for themselves, or where they will maybe fall back into their mental health issues, their addictions, and whatever else. And then we don't want to see that happen to those people as well. We want to be sympathetic, like I say, for those people. And secondarily, the way I understand it is the state of Colorado has come into Northglenn, purchased this property from default, and now has sole control over the property. But the city of Northglenn is a home rule community, and you have certain municipal powers to be able to fight against this. And if the state has not spoken with the city manager or the city attorney about this before setting this residence up, I think that you do, as a city, have recourse against the state via the Constitution. So I think that that's all I need to say about that, and hopefully that's food for thought. So thank you.
Was that?
That was the
signed
last
up.
person who signed
Okay.
up in advance.
Is there anyone in the audience who did not have a chance to sign up that would like to speak to council tonight?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, come forward. Please state your name and address and provide your comments to council.
My name is Damaris Thomas. I live at 140 Leonard Lane. Same issue, and I would like to make the note that I live 2 blocks from this facility that will be opening. I can't say anything that other people haven't said. I'm not a mother. I don't have the concern of my children to worry about, but I do have the concern of my neighbors and my friends. And I do have the concern that 68% of offenders within the first 3 years reoffend. That is the statistic. That is a known national statistic. That's 3 years that we have to potentially have these people offend in our neighborhood, in our community, with our homes and our families. That's a large number. That's a large number. And I have sympathy for these people. I understand our system's supposed to be really rehabilitation. But rehabilitation involves not tempting them. And as the Reverend and others pointed out, there is a marijuana store across the street from this facility. There is a liquor store, a drive-through liquor store. And these businesses have every right to operate. But we are setting these individuals up for failure. We are not giving them their best opportunity by putting them in a community where they're likely to be able to do this. That's really all I wanted to say. I feel like a lot of people have been focusing on the child issue, and that has very importance. It's an important issue, but this is bigger than just children. This is sex offenders, mental health. It's a failure to our system and what we're trying to do with these individuals. Thank you.
Yes, please, come forward. State your name and address and provide your comment. Thank you.
Luann McCain, 408 Emory Road. I wasn't prepared to speak tonight. I too echo everything that's been said. I myself am a veteran. I am also have been sexually assaulted in the military. So when this letter hit my door, my PTSD has been through the roof. I don't know what to do. I don't have any answers for anybody. I don't know how I'm going to cope with this. I hope you all listen, and I hope that something can be done. There's a lot of people like me out there that don't have a voice. Our children do not have a voice. And I hope that something can be done with this, and that doesn't fall on deaf ears, and there's nothing we can do about it. I've been in my home for 37 years. I can't move. I feel like a prisoner in my own home now. And I don't know what to do with it. Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. Come forward, state your name and address, and provide your comments to council.
David Armstrong, Associate Pastor, Northside Baptist Church, 11550 Washington. I'm here a little bit late. Some of this may have already been covered in opening comments. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I found out about the meeting this morning as well. I'm a little bit at a loss. The state has acquired the property. Were you provided with a rationale why anybody thought this was a good idea?
This is your 5 minutes. We will have a statement at the end.
Okay, that's my question. Other things that could be said, I think have already been rather thoroughly expounded upon. And I do not see any way that this is a good decision. I do not see anything positive that would come of it. Now, that's my comment, and I'll cut it off at the 1 minute mark, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to council? Please come forward.
My name's Deanna Moorfield. My address is 1160 East 130th Avenue, Thornton. Although I live in Thornton, I work in North Glen, and I attend Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish. So I too came in later, and I just wanted to add to what all the other people have been saying, and that is we have a very vulnerable population here, not only children and families, but we have elderly people. They're right across the street from the proposed site are elderly people living there. I happen to work for an assisted living community also. And not only do we have protective oversight for all of these people that live in our community, but from a socioeconomic standpoint, I think it will be detrimental to the city of North Glen. I know that many of my employees are young women. We operate 24/7. We have shifts coming in during the night, leaving very early in the morning, and they are going to probably lose their jobs because they'll want to work during the day and not in the evening. In addition, I feel that word like this really gets around, and it has really been broadcasted around. People won't want to come to the city of North Glen. They won't want to bring their kids. Families won't want to bring their loved ones to my community. We're going to get a bad reputation. Stay away from North Glen. They have sex offenders, there's violence, drugs, the whole bit. I never thought I'd be a NIMBY person, but I am now with this because I can see the big picture, that stores won't have people coming to patronize them. We won't have the census that we need to thrive, and I think it is going to have an economic downturn for the city of North Glen. So that's my piece. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward? Is there there anyone on the phone who would like to speak to council? You may press star 6 to unmute at this time. Okay. We're going to move into response to resident inquiry, and I want to start by making a brief statement to our residents regarding the mental health transitional living home that the state plans for 11255 and 11275 Grant Drive. I want to start by saying thank you to all of the residents that came here tonight. You spoke very well. Your points were well articulated and they were valid, and we share your concerns. Our staff, nor City Council, received formal notice of the intent to use to an existing building in our city for a different purpose. North Glen processes include a public hearing and a council vote before any change of use moves forward. When we learned that our local process did not apply, because this is a state program, our concerns grew. Furthermore, the state does not have to follow our local sex offender ordinance. Though the city has no voice on this new use, we share your concerns. We have heard from school leadership, parents at the schools, and also to many residents, some of you tonight, but also additionally. Our city manager and city attorney are actively working with Representative Wilford, Senator Mullica, as well as U.S. Representative Caraveo's office. And I will tell you, Representative Wilford is a former North Glen council member. She's a North Glen resident, and she is strongly advocating on our behalf. Our ask is that there are no registered sex offenders at this location. Hopefully, the state will hear all of our concerns and work with our community, but we need your help. So thank you for coming tonight, and I hope that you can invite more to the April 3rd meeting. More information is on our website, but it is April 3rd. It will be at the rec center in our community room. And the more the better. We need to hear from you. We are doing everything we can. I know every single council member up here shares your concerns, understands what you're saying. We agree with you, which is why our city staff as well is just as passionate about this, and they're working very hard. And I'm going to let City Manager Geyer and City Attorney Hoffman add some clarifying points.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just want to add a couple points to what the mayor indicated. Frankly, you all are here tonight because of the city's communication. There were a couple of points that were made in citizens' comments that I'd like to react to directly. First, someone asked, I think it was Reverend Beyer, did the state make this decision without consulting neighbors? The answer to that question is absolutely yes. Had this been something the city had power and legal authority over, there would have been an entirely different process. The state in 2022 passed a bill known as House Bill 22-1303. Your state senator, Faith Winter, was the primary Senate sponsor. I would suggest to you that is someone you should speak to about this issue. She was the sponsor of the bill in the Senate. In addition, Deacon Dornberg asked the question about the city being a home rule municipality and whether it had the legal authority to challenge this. If you'll indulge me, I'm going to do a brief history lesson for North Glen. In 2002 and 2003, the city of North Glen, on behalf of its constituents, took the issue all the way up to the Colorado Supreme Court about whether it had the legal authority to regulate this type of issue. And in a case called the Ibarra case, decided by the Supreme Court in 2003, the Supreme Court said no, that the state had the legal authority that preempted the local government. Later, in 2013, another case involving the city of Inglewood was decided similarly. So unfortunately, the city does not have the legal authority to challenge this. which is frankly why it sent the notice out. We, as the mayor indicated, need your help because the city manager and I met with the folks that are putting this location in North Glen consistent with House Bill 221303 this morning. To say that we were frustrated at their response, I would suggest is a gross understatement. So we absolutely set the community forum up for April 3rd so that hopefully the state can hear you because they are not hearing us. And we're happy to respond to questions on these issues, but we are as frustrated as you are at the lack of transparency and the fact that this is going into North Glen over North Glen's objection and obviously over the community's objection.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, I'll add additional context that I think will be beneficial to the residents here tonight and as well as those watching from home. The April 3rd meeting is at our North Glen Recreation Center. It will be in the space of all three community rooms because we are expecting, based on the dialogue taking place online, that we are going to have a huge response. We will have an individual who will provide Spanish translation services. I have been in contact with Isan at our Islamic Center in terms of trying to figure out if there's anything additional that we need to provide to support our Afghan refugee population that is housed in this area of North Glen. We have been given notice that the state does want to participate in this meeting. Just to elaborate a little bit more on something that the city attorney said, the city has initiated getting information from the state all along. An email was sent to a general email box to the police department. That email from a program coordinator at the state who's helping stand up these homes, that email was then sent to the chief. The chief immediately shared it with me. I immediately reached out to this program coordinator and said, we need to meet. We weren't able to get a meeting set up with the state until February 27th, so this is part of the timing of this whole process. We had an all-hands-on-deck meeting with staff here at the city, including the police department, with state officials. We sent a list of questions I did to the deputy director of the department prior to that meeting. Those questions are the questions that Representative Wilford has in her letter to the director of the department, Leora Joseph. The state has not adequately responded to our questions. They often respond to our questions about who's going to live at the facility and whether or not we could potentially see up to 32 registered sex offenders living at the facility with it depends. Depends on if the individual is a threat to themselves and a threat to the community. Clearly, we're not accepting these responses, and so Representative Wilford has taken this issue to the next level in terms of her letter to Leora Joseph with the state. As City Attorney Hoffman mentioned, we did have a meeting with them this morning. My perspective on the meeting is it was disgraceful. HB 22-1303 was advanced as a mental health piece of legislation, and nowhere in that legislation does it involve any acknowledgement that registered sex offenders will be housed at these facilities. The state views this program as, in their words, innovative in a way to house homeless registered sex offenders. So we will continue to push as hard as we can, and as City Attorney Hoffman and Mayor Leidy has shared, we ask you to share your voices. I did have a conversation with Representative Caraballo's office this afternoon as the Congresswoman is concerned about what is happening here at the local level. Our police department is in communication with the staff. The office within the state is called the Office of Forensic and Mental Health. And they are working with our police department to provide information on standing up these homes. My impression, and this is what I shared with the interim co-executive director this morning at the meeting, is I think that they're making the criteria up as they go along. Because we've consistently been asking for explicit criteria and we're not getting the answers we need. And so when I've asked if they could potentially house up to 32 registered sex offenders, they don't give me a yes or no answer. They say it depends. So please know that we are doing everything we can at this level to make sure that we have the information we need and move this issue forward and to have your voices heard. Happy to answer any questions if you have any about the meeting on April 3rd.
Does anyone have any questions about the meeting on April 3rd?
It's 6:30, right?
6:30 PM. And I did provide a packet of information that Representative Wilford put together for the meeting this morning. I did just realize that the copy machine upstairs jumbled the pages, but I sent you an electronic copy, so give me back the hard copy. The electronic copy is accurate. That includes a copy of Rep. Wilford's letter. It includes a copy of the House bill, and it includes, with redaction, information that was pulled from social media this weekend so that Rep. Wilford could share that with the state officials that we met with today.
Do you have confirmation of who from the state will be at the April 3rd meeting?
As far as I know, to this, as of today, Bonnie Wright, who's the deputy director of this program, will be in attendance. I don't have, confirmation of any other individuals.
Are there other people we can invite, reach out to?
In terms of that state agency or?
Well, or like, is Representative Wilford coming?
Oh, yes, sorry, Mayor. Representative Wilford is confirmed. Senator Winter shared with myself and the council members who were in attendance at the meeting on Friday that she's going to try to attend. And that's what I have as of now.
Okay. Is there, since you have reached out to Congresswoman Caraballo's team, is there someone there that could join?
I can talk to Ben Harrison, her legislative director, tomorrow and see if someone from their field office can attend, if the Congresswoman can't attend herself.
Okay. So I know we've reached out to North Glen representation. Is there anyone else in this process, maybe the other sponsor on the bill? Is there anybody else that we could reach out to invite them as well?
I think you can do a few things. I know Representative Wilford's reached out to the Speaker of the House of the Colorado Legislature. I think residents can reach out to the governor's office. I think they can also reach out to not only Representative Caraballo, but they can also reach out to Senators Hickenlooper and Bennett and voice their concerns. Go ahead.
Is there anyone else you recommend?
Yeah, well, we've also, council knows, reached out to the Municipal League, which has also offered their support. If there is some support they can provide, whether it be some sort of legislative change to identify criteria to keep this out of some sort of densely populated area like this. In addition, I just want to point out that Senator Mullica, who is not the senator for our district, but is a former city council member, did show up at the meeting this morning and spoke on North Glen's behalf and indicated he too would like to see resolution to this. So he was there while Senator Winter was not. Senator Mullica attended as well.
So I know it's a state issue. Is there any positive to inviting commissioners, county commissioners?
Potentially, I mean, do you want
Yes.
Yeah, they are the commissioners for the entire, for all of Adams County, so I would think that it would help to have them engaged as well.
Okay. Can staff do that, or would you like me to? I'm happy to.
If you'd like to, feel free, and I can follow up with additional information. And we also reached out to Adams 12 School District several weeks ago, and Corey's been in communication with their legal counsel, and I've been in communication with Superintendent Godowski, Pat Hamilton, and Molly Brandt. And I do have a meeting with the principals of Stuckey and Studio School on Wednesday with Chief May and then Deputy Chief Darlin.
Okay. Okay. How much time do we have? Like timeline?
Today, Bonnie Wright indicated, I asked her when they plan to move the first residents into the facility, and she said they're looking at about 6 weeks. So my takeaway from that information is that no residents will be placed in the facility prior to this April 3rd meeting. They still have steps that they need to go through for licensing purposes with another state agency, which I believe is.
Again, thank you to everyone that came out. We're going to move on to the next item in our agenda, but I want to make sure that you know that we heard you, and we're very thankful that you came, and we hope to see you next week. Okay? And this month, this is not lost on me at all, the proclamation we have tonight, I would like council to join me down front. April is Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. I need all the help I can get. Okay, so tonight I would like to invite the court-appointed special advocates, CASA, for Adams and Broomfield County's program director, Mara Bookman, to come up. She will accept tonight's proclamation. Thank you. So I'm going to read it, and then I'll give it to you. Whereas child abuse is a serious public health issue affecting every segment of our community with wide-ranging societal impacts, including costly medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral issues into adulthood. And whereas the effects of child abuse and neglect are felt by whole communities, and child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas, according to the National Children's Alliance, more than 600,000 children are abused in the U.S. each year, with neglect being the most common form of abuse. The youngest children are most vulnerable, and more than a quarter of child abuse and neglect victims are no more than 2 years old. And whereas parents and caregivers who have a support system of family and friends have access to public resources and learn skills to help remain resilient in challenging times, are best equipped to provide safe, stable, and nurturing environments for their children. And whereas a united and comprehensive effort across multiple systems create healthy parents with families supporting jobs, healthy children meeting developmental milestones, and better connected individuals who are able to participate in civic and family life. Now, therefore, I, Meredith Leidy, Mayor of the City of North Glen, Colorado, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in the City of North Glen, and urge all residents to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to prevent child abuse and neglect by learning how to recognize the signs of abuse and making every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. Dated at North Glen, Colorado, this 25th day of March, 2024. So I would like to welcome our CASA representative, if you'd like to add and say more things.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to thank you all for recognizing this very important upcoming month. As already mentioned, my name is Mara Buckman, and I'm the program director with CASA of Adams and Broomfield counties. At CASA, we recruit and train and supervise court-appointed special advocates, also known as CASA volunteers, to advocate for children who have experienced abuse and neglect, and also for children who are chronically absent from school. So we see firsthand the effects that child abuse and neglect have on the children that we serve, and the effects on the community at large. And by recognizing this very important month, Child Abuse Prevention Month, you're helping to increase awareness in your community about the incredible importance of strengthening families, supporting parents, and building brighter futures for the children in the city of North Glen. And just last year, in the city of North Glen, we served 25 children. And your support is instrumental in allowing us to provide that life-changing advocacy for children, at-risk children and youth. So I encourage anyone listening tonight to consider becoming a CASA volunteer yourself. In fact, we have an upcoming event that's called Light of Hope on April 11th, and it's a great way to learn more about CASA's mission and how anyone can get involved. We're very grateful to have the City of North Glen as a sponsor of that event, and just thank you again for your incredible support. Thank you. Do you want to distribute things? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's our annual report. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So council is going to stay so that we can celebrate our good neighbors. So we have our public communications specialist, David Mullen, is going to tell us some amazing stories, and we're going to get to celebrate our residents together.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening to present the newest recipients of the Good Neighbor Award. For those of you who are here tonight or tuning in at home who may not know what this award is all about, it's presented to residents who truly make a difference in our community. Whether it's shoveling their neighbor's driveway, lending a helping hand with a project, or just being kind to everyone, it's a way for the city and council to recognize and thank these exemplary residents. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing you to several recipients. Unfortunately, a couple couldn't make it tonight. So our first recipient tonight is Claire Brown, who was nominated by Amy Wilder. Miss Wilder wrote about Claire that Claire has been an incredible help to our family over the past year. I'd like to nominate her for the award because of her willingness to jump in and help a very pregnant mama with twins before their arrival by doing 14 loads of baby laundry in preparation. Claire not only was a help to us before the twins arrived, but also after, and still is. She used to come over and take my vitals twice a day as I was very sick postpartum. She also took me to the NICU to see the twins and sat with me in the ER after she found an irregular heartbeat 48 hours after I was released from the hospital. When the twins came home, she helped with 1 to 2 feedings every single day for the first 6 months and continues to come over weekly to help play with the twins. With no family nearby, Claire Bear, as we call her, has been a tremendous help to our family before and during the first year of our twins' lives. Her selfless attitude to help us when we needed it most is why I believe she deserves a Good Neighbor Award. She is truly remarkable. So if you don't mind joining us up here, Claire. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Next is Richard Klinkenbeard, who couldn't be here tonight, but he was nominated by Loretta Trujillo. She wrote that our neighbor is one of the best on the block. On snowy days, he'll go up and down each side of the block and shovel snow. He always checks in to see if we are okay or if we need anything while maintaining his own family. He's truly a great person. So thank you, Mr. Klinkenberg. Next is Brenda Einspar, who was nominated by Iris. I'm not going to say the last name because I'll screw it up. They wrote, Brenda and her wife, Erica, have gone above and beyond for the last 2.5 years that I've lived here. Every Wednesday, they put my trash and recycling bins out before I even wake up. On the days when we get an accumulation of snow, they come by with their snow blower and clear off my sidewalks as well as shovel up to my door. They're very friendly and have made my move here to North Glen a great experience. So please join us up here, Brenda. I will now introduce you to Kathy Croft, who was nominated by Tanya Rafferty. She wrote that Kathy is the best neighbor. She cares for all the neighbors. She helps shovel driveways and sidewalks for her elderly neighbors. She makes all the neighborhood homemade cookies and candies for Christmas. She continually offers the homeless population food and clothing. She also helps watch our home when we're not home to pick up packages. If one of us is ill, she'll offer to help you to get you to the doctor or pick up a prescription. She's very kind-hearted and is a loving individual, and our neighborhood is a better place because of her. She does all these things with grace and without no expectation of repayment. She's truly an angel living among us. Please, Kathy, come up here and join us. Our next two recipients are Devin Meechan and his wife Sydney, who were both nominated by Karen. She wrote that Devin is my next door neighbor and has done so many things to help me and my daughter out. He installed a brand new fence for us because mine was falling apart. He shovels, and when we travel, he takes care of our animals. He mows our lawn as well. My health isn't great, and my daughter has functioning cerebral palsy. Devin is so protective of me and my daughter. For example, he was so worried that her tires were not in the best of shape for winter that he went out and found her a really good pair and put them on her car so she would be safe to drive. You couldn't ask for better people and better neighbors. Karen also wrote about Sydney and said, one of the greatest things she has done is build a brand new wheelchair ramp for our house because the one we had was 18 years old and rotting away. She has fixed many things that me and my daughter could not. She's always there to help, and I've never had a neighbor like her. You could never ask for the most caring person out there who has given us so much of a helping hand, and I've seen her help a lot of other people too. So if you would please join us up front. Lastly, we'll honor Alberta and Kimberly Veiling, who were unfortunately unable to make it tonight, but were nominated by Maggie Ull. Maggie wrote, Bert welcomed me to our street 22 years ago. She's a genuine, kind, and caring human. She wheels my trash can up to my garage, gives me gardening advice, buys me numerous plants for my yard, helps me with all kinds of chores, and cheers me up when I'm making improvements inside and out of my home. She's just an angel on earth. Her daughter, Kimberly, is an angel from an angel. She's also the real deal as she's genuine, kind, and a caring human. She's also the mother to a beautiful son, Peyton. Kim helps me by taking care of my dog and house sits when I'm not home. She's the reason why I'm able to enjoy vacations because I know my house is safe. Bert and Kim see the good in other people and help whoever need it. I'm a better person for knowing these fine women. I definitely won the best neighbor lottery when I moved next door to them. So thank you, you two. And now if all the recipients wouldn't mind just coming up one more time for a group photo, that'd be fantastic.
I think you should get in there, David, and I'll take it. Okay, are you ready? Again? I take more than David because I don't have as good luck, I guess. Our family's waiting. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, David. Okay, our next presentation tonight is the North Glen Arts and Humanities Foundation Annual Update. So the Arts, Culture, and Community Manager and NAHF Director, Michael Stricker, is here to present the annual update to City Council.
Hello, everyone. Get this started.
Check to see if it's turned on. I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Leidy and City Council. Thank you very, very much for having me here tonight. My name is Michael Stricker. I am the Arts, Culture, and Community Manager for the city. One of my main responsibilities is working as the director of the North Glen Arts and Humanities Foundation. Some NAHF board members are actually here, excuse me, tonight that I'd like to just introduce real quick. So we have board member Stephen George is here, as well as the treasurer Kit Steffen is here as well. So thank you for joining us. It is always my pleasure to get to present to you where the NHF has been the past year and where we are headed. The NEHF was established in 1990. It exists to ensure access to the arts for all. The NEHF maintains and nurtures the cultural arts for the benefit of the community. It is a separately run 501c3, currently with 11 volunteer board members of various backgrounds and expertise. The board has 2 non-voting members, City Council Member Jaramillo as the council liaison and myself as the director. The NHF complete their own 990 each year, manage their own budgets, meet monthly throughout the year, volunteer for several events. The NHF also hires the firm Taylor Roth to complete a yearly financial audit. The NHF okay. The NEHF Board of Directors' job is to provide funding, advocacy, and guidance for North Glen Arts programs, and to work on a very hands-on level with public art programs. They are a very dedicated board, putting in several hours a month beyond the normal board meeting to make sure that the mission is being met. North Glen Arts is the marketing term or messaging umbrella for the many, many programs that the city, in partnership with the NHF, provide to the public. North Glen Arts includes these 3 categories of programs. North Glen Youth Theater is our flagship program that started in 1994, which means we are celebrating its 30th anniversary, if you can believe it. It's a good applause, I agree. NYT Junior was created just a few years ago to better meet the needs of our younger performers, ages 8 to 12. NYT Academy includes numerous specialized camps, classes, and workshops. Missoula Children's Theater is a great one-week program that introduces kids to the theater process. And Northglenn Arts Presents, which includes world-class touring shows, as well as local collaborations with exceptional performing arts organizations. Special events include the summer concerts and movies, senior center films and events, Teddy Bear Picnic, the Daddy-Daughter Sweetheart Ball, and then we do some collaborations with Northglenn High School as well. And then on to public art, we have the longstanding Sculpture on Loan program called Art on Parade. We have the city's permanent collection. We do large-scale commissions. We have a sculpture garden over at Centennial Park. And then, of course, we have indoor galleries over at the new facility. With regards to programming, it should be noted, Northglenn Arts continues to work very closely with the events division on many levels, including equipment and information sharing, collaborations on some events, and general planning purposes. The Parsons Theater is currently the largest facility of its kind in Adams County. Not only does it house all the Northglenn Arts programs you see here, it also welcomes 30 or more local organizations that rent the theater. These rental groups represent a wide range of missions, but are primarily dance, heritage, and school groups. So 2023 impact, we had over 42,000 people attend a Northglenn Arts program in 2023. The vast majority of them attending an event in the Parsons Theater. That number also includes the summer concerts and movies held on Festival Lawn. People of every age and background benefited as audience members and as active participants through Northglenn Arts' expanding scope of programs. The 33 rental organizations that use the theater also added to that number. 1,160 participated in Northglenn Youth Theater, Junior, Missoula Children's Theater, NYT Academy, and many other cultural classes. The extremely popular and growing NYT Academy continued to provide rigorous and specialized theatrical training for youth. Last year, 700 youth participated in often sold-out NYT Academy programs, which include skill and age-based performing arts classes and much more. Demand continues to grow, so this number will be surpassed in 2024. Oops, sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit there. The NHF contributed $246,920 to Northglenn Arts programs in 2023. The NHF did this through grants, donations, fundraisers, and investment income. The NHF received a Tour West grant for $3,750 to help fund our touring shows. NHF also received $27,000 in donations and sponsorships. Over $8,500 in investment income through CDs. It's one good thing about interest rates being high. And most significantly received $208,000 from the SCFD. The Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, grants over $60 million in arts and science to arts and science organizations in the Denver metro region every year. Think everything from the Denver Zoo to the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, all the way to the Northglenn Arts and Humanities Foundation. The Colorado Business Committee for the Arts was here in February to present to City Council. The Colorado Business Committee for the Arts reported that the $64 million distributed by the SCFD in 2022 created $2.6 billion in economic activity. This includes job creation, attendance, school outreach, hitting a restaurant before the show, and various other activity. Northglenn Arts is a part of that story. We bring hundreds and sometimes thousands of people each week to the city through our programs. In 2023, SCFD funds awarded to the NHF constitutes one of the highest awards in all of Adams County. 2023 theater programs, just a few highlights. Northglenn Youth Theater, as I said, is turning 30 this year, so it was 29 last year. This includes 6 fully designed and realized productions with professional designers, builders, helping create a large-scale theatrical experience for youth. 186 youth participated in 33 public performances with almost 9,000 attendees. Northglenn has been hosting Missoula Children's Theater since 1988. They returned once again for a residency in 2023 with 57 youth performing in 2 public performances to an audience of 511 attendees. 2023 also included special events like the Daddy-Daughter Sweetheart Ball and others. We also executed several collaborations, a few with the Northglenn Senior Organization, the travel film series that now includes a themed lunch option, the NYT dinner theater offerings, and helped bring the Colorado Chord Company a cappella group to the Veterans Day celebration. We also worked with Northglenn High School on a poetry performance night and our gallery wall projects. We also partnered with the Colorado Symphony on the Canta y Baila Conmigo program. The bilingual interactive children's story program promotes musical education and played to 150 elementary school students. 2023 also saw the expansion of the Northglenn Arts Presents series. Presenting featured concerts by local bands Los Mocachetes, the Reminders Hip Hop Group, and Face Vocal Band. We also partnered with local productions of Cleo Parker Robinson Dance's Inspiring Movement and the Disability Affirmative Family Theater Company's production of Spring Awakening. We had 3 Colorado Jazz Repertory Orchestra concerts, a Cantorai choral production, and Starkey Productions' Santa and the Sleigh. National tours included Nava Dance from San Francisco celebrating dance from India, the Latin Grammy-winning Uno, Dos, Tres, Andres, a concert by Jarabe Mexicano, and 1 international touring production, Irish Christmas in America. Nearly 5,000 people attended one of those Northglenn Arts Presents productions in 2023. And then moving outside, celebrating its 34th anniversary, the summer concert series included 6 bands with approximately 1,500 in attendance. The concerts included the continued added amenities of a beer garden as a fundraiser and food trucks. The summer movie series was back for its 10th year and played to nearly 700 attendees. Residents select what is shown every summer through an online vote in January. All movies are shown with Spanish subtitles. The Teddy Bear Picnic celebrated its 35th anniversary in 2023 with 275 little ones and their favorite stuffed animals being entertained by Tiny Mule Music Band. We also partnered with Boulder Philharmonic Orchestra on the Latin Beats concert on Festival Lawn. It was a free event and it drew almost 150 attendees. And then public art, the NHF first venture into public art was in 2000 with the creation of Art on Parade. Art on Parade is an annual sculpture on loan program that is driven by resident and park visitor selection. Submissions come in the form of, come from around the country. A large volunteer committee selects 6 finalists to go in E.B. Raines Jr. Memorial Park, and then Northglenn residents and park visitors then select from those final 6 the People's Choice winner. The NHF then purchases the winning sculpture, installs it, and then gifts it to the city for its permanent collection. Last year's winner was Metamorphosis by Brighton resident Vanny Channel. Vanny is a Cambodian American. His parents came here as refugees in 1983. Vanny had been working in a metal fabrication shop in Denver for years, and in 2013 took up scrap metal sculpting. He's a terrific artist, and he was thrilled to win the People's Choice Award. I'll actually be back here in a few months with an NHF recommendation for a permanent location for his sculpture. In addition to Art on Parade, we do large-scale commissions. And we've been doing them for many years now, including the Veterans Memorial, the RTD Light Rail Station artwork, and others. NHF is nearing completion of the newest commission, the large-scale City Hall Public Art Project. The $300,000 project, mainly funded by the NHF, SCFD, Colorado Creative Industries, and private donors, will feature a suspended atrium sculpture that welcomes patrons to the new Northglenn City Hall. Jody Bliss of Colorado-based Bliss Studio Custom Metalwork was awarded the commission through a national search by a diverse selection committee that was made up of members of Northglenn City Council, NHF, Northglenn Senior Organization, Northglenn Youth Commission, the DICE Committee, and city staff. Installation will occur this summer with a dedication held in conjunction with the opening of the new facility. We have also begun the process for the new Wayfinding, Walkability, and Vinyl Wraps project. This is a wonderful collaboration between the NHF, Public Works, Parks Department, and others. We will be hiring an artist or artist team to create beautifying and engaging images on 30 or so electrical boxes throughout the city to help folks know they're in Northglenn and to beautify it. Wayfinding and walkability are the general themes that the artist will be inspired by. And one thing to note is that our entire public art collection is listed on Artwork Archive, an online platform that provides an interactive public portfolio. The archive can be accessed through northglenarts.org or on the city website. And just a few additional highlights. This was a big year for us. The Parsons Theater Gallery in the new facility is the newest addition to our public art offerings. The NHF once again worked with the Chicano Humanities and Arts Council, or CHOC, for the first 3 quarters of 2023. They curated 3 different exhibits celebrating diverse artists and mediums. The last quarter of the year, we began partnering with Access Gallery as well. Access Gallery is an inclusive nonprofit organization that engages the community by opening doors to creative, educational, and economic opportunities for artists with disabilities. Their exhibit highlighted the nationally known artist Alonzo Clemens that has appeared on CBS Sunday Morning, 60 Minutes, and others. We will be partnering with both CHOC and Access Gallery again in 2024. In October of this year, we will be working with CHOC to highlight the work of Lucille Rivera, an NHF board member that tragically died last year. We will not only do an exhibit of her work, but we are also working on dedicating the gallery in her name. The naming process through the Parks Board should be completed in April. 2023 also marked a big first for NHF. We invested in our first endowment. Thanks to City Council guidance and approval, the NHF was the recipient of a portion of the Denver Broncos sales funds. Those funds were used for the NHF to launch the Northglen Youth Theater Scholarship Endowment. So instead of spending the funds on the programs down to zero, we instead invested the money to grow and ensure that youth for generations have the ability to participate in NYT and its many programs, regardless of economic ability. And the frosting on the cake is that the NHF was accepted into the Rose Community Foundation. The prestigious organization not only holds the investment, growing the funds, along with other organizations like Girl Scouts of Colorado, Denver Public Schools Foundation, and over 100 others, but also provides extensive training for the management of the endowment funds and guidance for fundraising. In fact, I'm announcing tonight that we will be holding our first ever fundraising gala in November of this year. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of Northglen Youth Theater, we will be holding an extraordinary gala in conjunction with the fall musical with lots of fancy food, cool performances, and more. All the funds will go towards the launch of the NYT Scholarship Endowment. More to come on the gala here in the next few months. The last highlight on the slide here is the total earned revenue brought in through Northglen Arts programming. As you can see, over $420,000. This includes ticket sales, registrations, concession sales, and theater rental income. It is a 16% increase over 2022. A new high watermark for Northglen Arts that we are hoping to well surpass again in 2024. So this is how the financial relationship works between the NHF and the city. Northglen Arts revenues divided between contributed and earned revenue, or earned income. Generally speaking, the contributed income, so grants and donations, flow through the NHF, and the earned revenues go to the city. So an example is during a Northglen Youth Theater production. All SCFD grant funds and donations go to the NHF to pay for the show, and then all of the ticket sales and participant registrations generated by the show go to the city. As you can see, the per capita funds are what kicks it off. Once per capita funds are released by City Council, the NHF is then able to apply for SCFD grants, generate donations and other grants, to then pay for programs that generate earned revenue for the city. The NHF also generates revenue through outdoor concessions and merchandise sales, as well as some investment income, as I've mentioned. As you can see on the city side, all theater rental income goes to the city as well. And this is how we then spend the money. The NHF mostly covers production costs. So think sets, props, costumes, etc. The NHF also covers the majority of the theater contractors used throughout the year, like designers, technicians, and builders. And then the NHF also covers all public art purchases and the majority of public art maintenance costs. The city pays for the salaried employees, like myself, that make all of this happen. The city also pays for all of the facility and equipment costs, ticketing and registration, custodial services, many of our presenting partners, and class instructors. And as you can see, there are a few shared costs, but this is the basic structure. So going forward, I know you have a very long-range plan in front of you. I won't take 77 pages to do that. But the NHF believes that partnerships such as the one that exists with the city of North Glen are a valued community asset. The NHF has embraced the struggles caused by the pandemic, social unrest, and political upheaval that the community and the nation have faced. That, combined with the opening of the new theater, has been a catalyst to reimagine what the future might hold. The NHF contracted Stillwell Consulting of Fort Collins to create this long-range plan. This complements the North Glen Playbook, excuse me, which is the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Department's long-range plan that is nearing its completion. In other words, the new North Glen Arts long-range plan that you have there is both a standalone document for the NHF, but is also a chapter or addendum to the playbook. This community and stakeholder-driven visioning process represents the beginning of the next significant chapter in North Glen Arts' 45-year history, aiming to build a roadmap for North Glen Arts for the next 15 years. The long-range plan was derived from over a year's worth of work with the community, arts patrons, partner arts organizations, rental organizations, North Glen Arts staff, the NHF Board of Directors, and others. The extensive document highlights a refreshed mission, vision, and values, as well as outlines 5 major goals with over 110 action items. Next year at this time, it will be exciting to report on the many items in the plan that are already underway, like the NYT Scholarship Endowment, the recently awarded National Endowment for the Arts grant, which is incredibly difficult to get, that we did get, focus on diversity and accessibility in storytelling, and much more. So, I could keep talking, but thank you very much for allowing me to present. The release of the per capita funds is on the consent agenda this evening, so I'd be happy to take your questions now.
Thank you. Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations, Director Stricker, on great performance. For the purposes of our audience, because I think some people who are critics of our public art think that the city is spending taxpayer dollars, and I just want to make sure, out of clarity, the North Glen Arts Humanities Foundation is a 501c, and that is what's underwriting buying these art pieces.
That's correct. The NHF is a separate 501c3 organization. One of the very specific asks that is within the SCFD grant is dedicated to public art. So those funds are asked by the NHF to the SCFD. It then goes into helping pay for that. We also receive money from the Colorado Creative Industries and some other sources as well. Now, some of the per capita money that is released, a small percentage of it does help pay for some things like plaques and whatnot. But the vast majority of what is paid for all of the sculptures is through the NHF.
Gotcha.
And is then gifted to the city, so it actually becomes a city asset. So all the sculptures that you see out there that are permanent, that belongs as an asset to the city, just like vehicles, roads, the tree canopy.
Gotcha, thank you. And then on page 26, and I'm just inviting the council's attention. I like this page because it summarizes the community snapshot, the demographics, very nicely. And I just wanted to point out a few things for the days. Of the 13,500 North Glen jobs, 92% are filled by residents who live outside North Glen, which I think is a very interesting stat. The other thing is the number of people that are participating in the theater program. Only 20% are North Glen residents. The other 80% are outside of North Glen residents. And the reason why I'm sharing this, I hate to kind of get on the soapbox. I know that we're looking at the parking situation. And to me, this is very useful information. Kind of think about, okay, a lot of people are transiting into the city, whether it's coming here to work or coming here to play. So that is something that I wanted to just bring to the DICE's attention. And then my last question is, granted that this was during COVID, I just did the math. So from 2019 to 2022, you had basically a 16% increase in theater attendance. That's going from 22.5 to 35.5 thousand people. And I'm just trying to figure out, do you foresee that kind of starting to plateau off, or are we still like at the toe of a hockey stick here going up?
That's an excellent question. Thank you. Actually, we do foresee our numbers continuing to grow, not only because we have seats to fill, but we're continuing to expand our programs. So for instance, Northglenn Youth Theater has 6 productions that we do that equaled 33 actual dates on the calendar. We're expanding into yet another production as well, so we'll be doing 7. Our Northglenn Arts Presents series is going from 14 shows to 20. So there's a lot of different ways that the attendance is going to continue to increase. And then it's a smaller number, but even our participants we will be going higher simply because we're able to offer more classes. So yes, I do see our increases continuing.
Gotcha. Madam Mayor, point of privilege. I think somebody else wanted to speak. I don't know if we wanted to allow that individual.
If I may, yeah, it was our, yes, you want to speak?
I did. I just wanted to go back to your previous comment about the public and their comments on the art collection. The majority of the art is voted for by the public. So if they don't like what they're seeing, they need to go to Art on Parade and vote. So I just wanted to add that in.
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank
I
you.
yield the floor, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Jaramillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Michael, great work as always. And I can attest that Northglenn Arts and Humanities Foundation, we're continuing to be on the rise. When I was, I first saw myself being in the situation by a great mentor like you and me involved with NAHF. So thank you for reaching out. And, I'm just really proud. And I got to just carry on with us of the public art. So the art is then it's gifted to the city. It becomes an asset to the city. So that's one thing that I think I'd like to also include is that it becomes ours when it's purchased by NAHF. And I'm excited for all the future projects. I know I'm trying to get the electrical boxes for a while, so that's exciting. But keep up the great work, Michael. We're happy to have you and all the great members of the board of directors on NAHF. We're very blessed. So thank you. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Councilmember Goff.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you. This was a great presentation. I always enjoy when you come and tell us about all the great things you guys are doing. My question is kind of along the lines of what we heard from Councilmember Kondo, and that was, do you have any sense of if we had more parking, you might have more programs or more people coming to attend programs? Do you feel like our parking is limiting what you do?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I work really closely with Amanda Peterson, the Director of Parks, Rec, and Culture, as well as Justin Purdue, who's the Recreation Manager for the facility. So, really when we're looking at parking, we're looking at the Senior Center, Northglenn Arts, and all of recreation. So it's a busy facility. And what I would say is that we do get a lot of feedback. Some of it is people just not being able to park close to the building, which is understandable. But then a lot of it is, when it's what I tend to tell people is if you imagine like the Denver Broncos, right? If you go to a game there, if you go there when there's not a game, it's a giant empty parking lot that doesn't get used, right? When there's an event, you have to have it. And so that's sort of my long answer for we currently rely very heavily on the old recreation center parking lot for overflow when there's a show, basketball camps, swim lessons, an event in the senior center. When that's all happening at the same time, we do need people to be able to get to the site. We don't have anything close in the way of RTD. Of course, there is on the other side of I-25, but most folks don't want to walk, at night after a show to the RTD lot. So I would say, it meets a lot of needs, certainly. But when we've got a full building, it can be challenging.
Thank you. That's something I just wanted to keep in mind as we're looking at future plans. Thank you.
Councilmember Roper.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Director Stricker, for this presentation. It's amazing. And I know one thing that really resonated with you is the picture of the teddy bear picnic, as both of my children have grown up here in North Glen and have grown up surrounded by arts, and it's really made them the people that they are, I believe. And I know my own son is 20 years old, and he still talks about going to the teddy bear picnic and how that's something that's going to be a core memory for him forever. And thank you for that. I just appreciate the intentionality behind the arts programming, the performances that are brought to our community to entertain, but also to be a reflection of who we are as a people, a culture, a community. And I love the creation of the scholarship endowment. As we know, arts can be pricey, and it's important to give everyone the opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to jump in really quickly. First of all, the Access Gallery is one of my favorites, so I love that you're continuing to partner with them. And I just wanted to, I know you mentioned it, but I wanted to highlight the item on the consent agenda that has the per capita funding, because I was on council in 2018 when we increased the formula from $1 to $2. And I have a question, because when I look at the update, and you summarize all of the grant funding that you have been awarded, that comes at great effort. Like, first of all, thank you for taking the time to write the grants and seeking them out and doing the fundraising, because it's hard. It's very challenging. So thank you for continuing to do that. But I guess my question is, are you feeling comfortable because 2018 was a while ago, and we've seen inflation all across the country, and I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
Thank you, Mayor, for that question. For this year, I am comfortable, and the reason I say that is, you mentioned intentionality. We're very intentional about the budget. And the one thing that's been a huge effect on the budget since 2018 is in the opening of the new facility, we've been able to hire several extra staff. So we always look at the budget as combined, what's happening on the city side and what's happening on the NHF side. And so we've actually been able to meet a lot of those demands on the new facility, on the programming, through that hiring process. Now, on the NHF side, we do have conversations around the per capita. We are very comfortable with the $2 per capita this year, and that's how it was presented. But we are, as a matter of fact, as part of that long-range plan, we're sort of looking at that and looking at that funding mechanism and looking like, do we need to up that, or do we need to tweak it, or what do we need to do to increase that? But for now, I think we're good.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Well, and it comes as I love that these two things are back to back, because the presentation is so thorough, and it highlights, as people have already shared, the value that you provide to our community. And, we just started the strategic planning process, and we're, talking about who are we as a city, and we're going to lean into resident comment for that. We'd like their input as we do the strategic planning. But when we have those conversations about who we are and what is our identity as a city, the arts are such a big part of that. And so you're providing an amazing, it's not even a service, it's just an experience that I think, provides the overall well-being of everyone. So I want to say I appreciate it, but also at the end of such a presentation, we want to make sure that you have what you need to continue to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, well, we appreciate you coming. Have a great
Thank you, everyone. I will see you at the theater.
Okay.
See you there.
Okay, we are now at council communications. Councilmember Walker.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank all the residents and volunteers who came out to help with the Farmers Highline Canal cleanup this weekend, especially Miss Katie McKinney, who helped lead the Fox Run team, and a group of about 5 people who helped clean up there. They said it was a little bit cleaner than last year, so that's a good thing. So hopefully we'll have even less next year. And just a statement to the public from me on the mental health transitioning facility. All I can say is we can add this to the plethora of examples that we've all had to learn from the last few years, and that elections have consequences. The director of this department that potentially wants to put the sex offenders near the children in this community was appointed by the governor. And I hope you remember that and the state's decision when you vote in your next state election, not only for your representatives, but for your governor. Thank you. That is it.
Thank you. Councilmember Jaramillo?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give my appreciation to everybody who courageously spoke here today and who also sent us letters. And your voices are heard. And on Friday, March 22nd, I, along with some members of council and city leadership, we personally spoke with State Representative Jenny Wolford, as well as State Senator Faith Winters, and we expressed the same concerns that you have, because they're all of ours as well. This is our community, and we want to be a safe place. And we're happy that we have allies that are willing to listen to us, because we hear you, and we have to project our voices up to them. So I just want to state that I did personally go to the state capitol and met with our state rep and our senator, and we're doing the work that we have to do, and they've been receptive, and I feel that we can really, I think that we can really make this happen to go the direction that we want it to go. But you just saw here today too, you see we're a great small community that we stick together. We just had the Good Neighbor Awards. Let's just continue being good neighbors and taking care of each other. And just want to reiterate, your voices are heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Nowicki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to just second everyone who came out. Thank you for all of your input. That's what we need to hear. I would, again, encourage everyone to contact the representatives as well. I think that the city attorney did a good job of kind of highlighting the predicament we're in. So I think, again, that meeting on April 3rd will be important to hear everyone's voices. And, also reach out to your representatives, senators, everyone up the chain, let them know kind of what's going on. I just want to second, we did have an opportunity to meet one-on-one with Representative Wolford and State Senator Winter, and we strongly expressed our, concerns. I wish there was more we could kind of do in this instance. Moving on, I do want to thank everyone who came out for the Farmers Highline Canal cleanup near E.B. Rains Park, and for Becky Smith, city staff Becky Smith, for organizing that and putting that together. It was great to see all the residents and tromp through the muck with everyone, cleaning up stuff. I found 2 sweatshirts and a pair of undies too, so somebody's missing that out there. I don't know where it is now, it's in the trash. But yeah, thank you for the city. Thank you for the city for organizing kind of a pizza event afterward for everyone as well. Again, as we heard with the, talking about the arts, one of the things I like about the city is I think we do a good job of kind of expressing joy. And events like this that bring community together, and then we can, do the work, but then also celebrate, is what makes this a great place to live. So with that, turn it over.
Thank you. Councilmember Goff?
Thank you, Mayor. So I just would like to also acknowledge that in the last week or so, I've received many calls and emails from residents concerned about the transitional living home. And I just want to make sure that everyone realizes that that City Council was just as shocked and surprised as you were that this was coming here. And we have been doing everything we can think of to, make sure that our city remains a safe place for everyone. I'll get on to more of that later. But I want to thank everybody for reaching out, and hope you all show up on April 3rd. The past week, I did testify or give testimony for CC4CA, which is Colorado Communities for Climate Action, 5 times. It's been a very, very busy period right now at our state legislature with lots of bills going forward. And so I was speaking on behalf of North Glen for cleaner air and more support for our electrification plan. And then March 22nd was the legislative breakfast, and many of us went down to our state capitol. And we're very fortunate to be able to have the time to meet with both Representative Wolford and Senator Winter. And the transitional living home proposal was very much on our minds. We brought it up with both of these people and expressed our concerns on your behalf, on our residents' behalf. So we'll have to see what happens. The April 3rd meeting, I think, is vitally important, and both women said that they would try to be there. I think Jenny Wolford has it on her committee, or her schedule, for sure. The only other thing I think that happened that I would report out again is the Highline Canal cleanup. We were very lucky this year to have good weather. And we had 300 volunteers. And I would say there were a lot of staff, city staff, that volunteered their time to come out and help us clean up that canal. So I want to thank all of them and all of our residents who came out. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kondo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First and foremost, I also would like to acknowledge hearing from the residents, their concerns. And it takes a great deal of courage to get up to the podium and speak. And I felt that emotion. And so that was very much appreciated. And I cannot underscore how important it's going to be to be there on April 3rd. I intend on being at that session. But if their state representatives can hear directly from you all, and I'm talking to the people in the room as well as those people that are online or watching the video clip, please reach out to any other interested parties that have a stake in it to be sure that they're there, so it's a full room. That's really going to be vital. The second item is that last Wednesday was DRCOG, and I took our Mayor Pro Tem, Shannon Lukman-Haramasa, so she knows the ropes, how to get in and get out. She is my alternate in this organization. DRCOG stands for Denver Regional Council of Governments. And if you are at all interested in understanding how municipal government works, DRCOG is hosting what is known, and I'm sure this is showing up backwards, a civic academy. And this is going to go from April 11th through May 23rd. It's going to be every Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. It's downtown. I know it's not great driving downtown, but light dinner is going to be provided. It's also going to be done in Spanish. So this is a wonderful opportunity to hear from local experts and leaders about how your local government works. And I will say that, you know, very few things in life are free. This is free. So knowledge is power, and I might want to encourage you all to partake of this. Our city manager has a copy of that one. Speaking of knowledge being power, my last thing is all about rules of order, Robert Rules of Order. And I took the liberty for all the day's members, there's Appendix B and C. It's not humongous pages, but I put copies of that in your desk drawer. It's a very quick summary on how to do motions and things of that nature. I also got a very smaller handbook size from Clerk Small when I was on business travel last week. So if you all are interested in that, just email me, let me know, and we'll have multiple copies made. I would say it took me about an hour skimming, and I felt like I was a lot smarter. Not that I'm smart at all, but a little bit more smarter after spending about an hour's worth of time. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Roper?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I want to just echo what my council mates have said, and just thank you for coming forward today and using your voice. As Claudia said, we want to be heard, and this is a place where you can come and be heard. Your voice is important to us, and it is our job to uplift that then to the next group of individuals. Come out to the meeting on April 3rd. It's so important. This is our community. Our children go to school here. Our children live here. Our children are walking back and forth to the rec center and to all the different facilities we have. So thank you for speaking today. We hear you, and we are right there with you. Again, we went to the legislative breakfast under the dome, and we were able to speak with our representatives and our senators. And this was the first, transitional housing was the first thing on our mind. And I hear your frustration today, and we have the same frustration as well. So that was something definitely that we were bringing up all sorts of solutions, and they were not feasible at that time, but we're going to keep coming up with solutions. We're going to get this. I enjoyed the Farmers Highline Canal cleanup. It was incredible and the weather was beautiful. The pizza from Boardwalk Pizza at the end was perfect and delicious. Please check it out. Today I spent some time with some of our scholars at Holstrom K-8, and it's amazing to see the wonderful work that they're doing there at Holstrom, which is our gifted and talented magnet school here in Northland. Tomorrow, the Historic Preservation Committee is meeting to begin talking about the event center at Stonehawker. That is all I have for this week. Thank you.
And I have nothing new to add. City Clerk Small?
I do have one quick item to change gears a little bit. The city clerk's office will be holding a Passport Saturday event on April 20th. This will be our second Passport Saturday, and we intend to hold 4 of those per year. So this is intended for individuals and families who cannot make it into City Hall during the week. Appointments will open up next Monday, so I would encourage everybody to check the city's Facebook page over the next couple of weeks and the April issue of the Northglenn Connection newsletter for more details about the event as we get closer. Thank you.
City Manager Guyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One item, 2 items actually for council and the public. The first for the public, we do have 2 community engagement sessions coming up related to the strategic plan development. All of that information has been pushed out in the Connection newsletter, on our social media platforms. Those sessions are going to be held one evening session Thursday, April 4th, and then one mid-morning session on Friday, April 5th at 9:30. The evening sessions at 6 p.m. I will send an email and a schedule holder. I have been able to confirm May 18th. It's a Saturday. All of council but 2 council members are able to attend the half-day follow-up session on strategic planning. So unless you direct me otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and put a placeholder on your calendars for that strategic planning session. I also did receive a report from the Saturday, March 16th session from Julia that I need to review and then forward to council, which is a reflection of the work that day. One third thing that I forgot about that I have right here in front of me, we are submitting 2 projects this week for congressionally directed spending funding, which is the process through the Senate, U.S. Senate. The first project is funding to help fund improvements needed on the 112th ditch and stormwater infrastructure. And the second project is to fund solar panels at our wastewater treatment facility, also known as Section 36. And that's all I have this evening.
Hello.
Good evening again, Madam Mayor, members of council, and I do not have anything further tonight.
Okay, thank you so much. Moving to the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and the consent agenda passes unanimously.
We have a few resolutions tonight. We'll start with CR 75. Will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution accepting a grant award from the Colorado Energy Office Fleet Zero Emission Resource Opportunity Program.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Sustainability Coordinator Mara Owen is here to provide a summary. Hello.
Hello. Mayor, Council, good evening. My name is Mara Owen, and I'm just here to essentially answer any questions if you had any about the grant. We are excited to have it. It supports a lot of the existing plans that we have in the city, a lot of our existing initiatives, so we're excited to have it. If you had any questions on what was in the memo itself, please let me know.
Councilmember Kondo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I may be going a little bit beyond what's in the memo, so I hope you'll indulge me.
Please.
I know that there's been a shortage of electric vehicles in terms of availability. Maybe it's like electric vehicle trucks or that sort of thing.
Correct.
Would you have any information that you can share about what's happening in terms of supply and availability?
I don't have any additional information that you may not, that you likely don't already have. What I can say is that this is the first step. You know, you need to have the horse before you get the cart, and then it is a lot easier to push harder when you want more carts. That's essentially the position that we're in, is at a certain point, if you don't have that infrastructure, it doesn't make a ton of sense to put extensive and a lot more energy into finding those alternative routes around maybe state bids and other areas. We are also seeing a huge push from the state in electrification, so we see that affecting markets, and so ideally that will be impacting our ability to get more vehicles in the future.
One other question, Madam Mayor. And that is, one thought that ran through my head.
Yeah.
Was, will residents be able to use these chargers or not?
No,
They're
actually.
exclusive to the city.
Yeah, these are actually specifically fleet vehicle chargers, and that is the program that the grant is through. And the reason that is because if you have, let's say, a police charger, or if you have a public works truck that cannot get charged because it is actually being occupied by a public, someone from the public who would like to be able to use it, it makes it very difficult to have ongoing operations. So this is simply for city fleet vehicles. There will be additional public chargers installed at the new city hall, so we will have additional there. And ideally, more and more as we keep electrification going.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the questions. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and CR 75 passes unanimously.
CR 76, will the clerk read the title, please?
A resolution approving a professional services agreement between the City of North Glen and Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated for the Marketplace Area Sub-Area Plan.
Or a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, Director of Planning and Development Brooks Baboda is here to provide a summary.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Very excited to bring this forward to you tonight. We are getting ready to start the visioning process for our long-range vision for the area commonly known as Marketplace, but not just Marketplace. The surrounding area, if you'll look in, there's an exhibit of the map area that we're looking at. This is one of our top priorities out of the comp plan in terms of how we move the vision forward. I do want to point out that this is a very detailed effort. We're going to be looking at infrastructure capacity, redevelopment opportunities, as well as economic feasibility for this in a short and long-term range. The project budget is $225,000, and staff is recommending approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? I don't. Okay, thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
We'll close that vote, and CR 76 passes unanimously.
All right, we'll keep you there for CR 77. Will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution approving a professional services agreement between the City of North Glen and Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated for the Section 36 Sub-Area Plan.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All right, tell us about this one.
All right, so this is for Section 36, and as you all know, we have an IGA right now to bring water services to Section 36. So in an effort to get in front of potential opportunity, one of the other areas that we had identified in the comp plan to do further investigation is Section 36. One thing you will note, this is a substantially lesser contract amount. One of the main reasons for that is because there's essentially no residents that live in Section 36, and so therefore we don't have as strong as emphasis on the community engagement as we do in the Marketplace sub-area plan. However, there are some very unique nuances to this particular project that are different from Marketplace, in so much as that we are going to have to look at shared services for police and other types of level of service operational things that will take place here. But primarily what we want to make sure is to understand what our capacities are, what the roadway networks are, because many of the roads surrounding this are not city-controlled roads. They are partner cities and counties. So all of this will require a different kind of a lift and a different type of exercise altogether. But once again, we'll be also looking at that future vision for this site. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Councilmember Kondo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As the liaison to North Metro Fire, city's liaison to North Metro Fire, I'm curious, will that also kind of be in scope, that training facility is going to be?
It's within the section, yes, it will be, yeah.
Gotcha, thank you.
Councilmember Nowicki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'm gonna ask a noob question here for myself and maybe the residents who don't know. What is a sub-area plan?
So in the comp plan, we have an overall vision of how we would like to see the city grow. It's our vision. It's sort of the city council planning roadmap as we do it. It's what we look as our work plan in terms of how we go about and identifying areas of opportunity for growth and also other opportunities in terms of open space planning and all those wonderful things that get really nerdy and not so exciting for John Q. Public, but that things are very important in terms of how we make sure and ensure that the city is not only robust, but also long-term. We look at the environmental and social fiscal sustainability of it through these exercises. Sub-area plans is just a deeper dive in a specific area that goes and looks a little bit more about the nuts and bolts. So in our comp plan, we say, hey, we would love to see infill redevelopment. We'd love to see diversified housing. Here we kind of roll up our sleeves and say, does it work here? What does that really look like? And how can we bring that forward and bring that back to council? The other really interesting and cool part about sub-area plans is it also delivers a message to the development community about what the appetite for the community and the city council is. And quite honestly, Carl's Farm would not have happened without that planning exercise, because the developers were too afraid to touch it because they didn't know what the city was interested in doing. That was a very robust process. What we do here in Northglenn is a little bit more than other communities, and where we really actively try to engage the community to make sure their voice is being represented, so that when you guys are being brought forward a recommendation, it has a very broad base. We go over and above to try to reach that community to make sure that they have input in these processes.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Councilmember Goff?
Thank you. So a couple of questions. One is that when we were looking at the oil and gas permitting process for that area, we had people here who said they were residents. Do we have residents in this area?
I believe we have 3 or 4 people who have claimed residency within Section 36. However, I think most of the folks at the oil and gas that testified were surrounding the area that were in the unincorporated county or within the city of Thornton.
Okay, I just want to make sure about that. And then just to go along with that, how will this plan incorporate, or does it need to at all, the oil and gas, project?
Sure, it'll be part of the DNA of the process in looking at where the oil pad site is and what's compatible and not compatible within that area. I think historically, with what we had identified in the previous comp plan and the comp plan in general, is that this area is generally looked upon as potential light industrial to industrial type uses. That residential is not really one of the key focal points because of the proximity of the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Here, and I thought there were gonna be more questions on Marketplace.
I
so
know, right? That's great, thank you.
Thank you.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I will close that vote, and CR 77 passes unanimously.
All right, CR 87, will the clerk please read the title?
A resolution approving an agreement between the City of Northglenn and Maltz Construction Incorporated for the wastewater treatment plant aeration diffuser replacement project.
Motion to approve, so stated.
Second.
All right, Director of Public Works Kent Kisselman is here to provide a summary. Hello.
Whoa. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This was set up for Brooker.
Yeah.
Yes, a secondary theme this evening, Section 36. So these are some upgrades to our wastewater treatment plant. These are aeration diffusers. So we have 3 A basins at the wastewater treatment plant. Most of you have taken the tour. We're replacing 2 of the diffuser systems in those, and we'll replace the last one next year. Just for a system process, a quick summary, we have our waste from the city. It goes to lift station A, it goes down the force main, it goes to the wastewater plant, it hits the headworks, it goes into these A basins, and then to the clarifiers, and then to the disinfection building, and then it's discharged out into Big Dry Creek. These A basins and diffusers, what they do is they just provide air into the waste, and they just help in the treatment process. Maltz put a total project cost on this of $229,395.60, including contingency. The low bidder on this project was not responsive because they bid the wrong equipment. And so staff is recommending approval as presented. And I'll answer any questions.
Any questions for Kent? Councilmember Roper? Okay.
Madam Mayor, what is the lifespan?
The last ones we've had for about 18 years, so we're hoping 15 to 18 years.
All right, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
We'll close that vote, and CR 87 passes unanimously.
Okay, we are at public invited to be heard. This is an opportunity for public comment. Statements are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments must be related to an item previously addressed by council during the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to council at this time? Okay. Is there anyone on the phone who would like to speak to council? You may press *6 to unmute. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.